Imagine clicking on a video thinking you're just going to catch up on Wrexham news, but right at the start you hear that the hottest story of the day involves controversy, the manager's decisions, and even players who have completely changed clubs. Today, we're going through 3 stories that are making waves, but the main one, the bombshell you saw in the thumbnail and title, comes last. So stick with me until the end, because I promise you won't want to miss the final story. News 1. Parkinson explains dismissals and decisions. Let's start with what's happening at Wrexham, off the pitch, because not everything affecting the club happens within the 4 lines of the field. With the team's promotion to the Championship, the second tier of English football, some inevitable changes had to take place in the squad. And these changes ended up leaving certain players out, even those who had been key figures in the team's League One campaign. Paul Mullin and Ollie Palmer, who in previous seasons were considered important pieces, were no longer part of the starting plans and have now stepped away from the North Wales club. Elliot Lee, who was Wrexham's top scorer in the 2024-25 season, also struggled with this transition. He could not maintain the same prominence in the second division and saw his role diminish. Sam Smith, who had been crucial in the second half of last season, also began this new chapter at Wrexham without being selected for any league match so far. This clearly shows how promotion brought new demands, and not all players were ready for this next level. And it wasn't just in attack that the changes were felt. In goal, the situation also shifted significantly. Danny Ward arrived at the club to take the #1 goalkeeper position, which left Arthur Okonkwo, who had been the long-time starter, on the bench. Naturally, many supporters were confused and concerned, wondering what led Parkinson to make these decisions. Phil Parkinson has finally explained his choice, and the reasoning shows that everything was strategically planned. According to him, Ward appeared more ready to start the season as the first-choice goalkeeper, while Okonkwo needed to continue his development game by game. Parkinson made it clear that the decision was not a punishment, but rather a growth strategy. Ward was more ready at the start, but Arthur is improving with every game. The match against Derby County was his best performance so far, and I'm pleased with his progress, said the manager. But there's a detail that gives even more weight to Parkinson's decision. He revealed to Ryan Reynolds and Rob MC that Arthur Okonkwo was the only player he considered a true major investment for the club. Okonkwo wasn't just another squad member, he represented a central piece for Wrexham's future. Despite interest from other clubs, Parkinson made it clear that Wrexham needed to secure the goalkeeper's development and continuity. He was essential to the long-term project of the team. In other words, everything that was done, from changes in the starting lineup to patience with Okonkwo, had a strategic reason. Parkinson was not only thinking about the present but also the club's future, valuing young talent and ensuring that Wrexham had players capable of growing alongside the team. And even if some decisions were tough and even controversial for supporters, the manager's message is clear. The focus is on strengthening the squad and building a competitive team for the Championship. Furthermore, the way Parkinson has managed this situation demonstrates his long-term vision. It's not just about choosing who plays or doesn't play. It's about identifying which players have the potential to become pillars of the club, investing in them, and creating conditions for them to develop in a competitive environment. Arthur Okonkwo is the perfect example of this. Even starting on the bench, he has been given opportunities to shine and prove that he can be the goalkeeper Wrexham will rely on for the years to come. So the lesson is clear. Changes can be tough and sometimes unpopular, but when made with planning, vision, and strategy, they can secure the club's future success. Parkinson is showing that what may seem unfair at first glance is not necessarily a mistake. Often, it is part of a bigger plan, designed to strengthen Wrexham and build a solid foundation for the challenges ahead. News 2. Ollie Palmer shines outside Wrexham. And now, let's move on to the second story of the day, which shows just how much a change can transform a player's career. Ollie Palmer is the main protagonist of this piece. After leaving Wrexham this summer, the striker found a new home at Swindon Town, a club competing in League Two, and wasted no time in making an impact. Last weekend, while Wrexham struggled and drew 1-1 with Derby County, remaining winless at home this season, Palmer shone for Swindon. He scored a goal in his side's 2-0 victory over Bromley, proving that he was determined to make a fresh start and demonstrating that the move had done wonders for his confidence and performance. Palmer's display impressed not only the Swindon fans, who quickly recognised his effort and talent, but also caught the attention of the EFL. For the first time this season, the striker was named as one of the 2 forwards in the EFL Team of the Week, an accolade that no Wrexham player achieved in this round. And this recognition did not come by chance. Palmer has already scored more goals this season than he managed in the entirety of last season at Wrexham, highlighting that sometimes all a player needs is a new environment, a boost in confidence, and opportunities to express themselves on the pitch. Meanwhile, at Wrexham, some players also had solid performances, but none managed to stand out in the same way. Issa Kabor, for instance, was one of the highlights against Derby County. The young midfielder excelled by registering his third assist in just 2 matches, showing that he is developing well and could be an important asset for the team throughout the season. Ryan Longman and Lewis O'Brien also delivered consistent performances, contributing with key moments, accurate passes, and a strong presence on the field. Yet, despite their efforts, none of them earned recognition from the EFL to make the Team of the Week. This clearly emphasizes how much Palmer stood out. He was able to adapt quickly to his new club, score crucial goals, and ensure that his talent was noticed and celebrated, even outside the environment he knew so well at Wrexham. This situation also offers an important lesson about football. Staying at the same club is not always the best option for every player. Sometimes, a strategic move, like Palmer's, allows a player to find their space, regain confidence, and fully showcase their potential. For Wrexham fans, this serves as a reminder that players leaving aren't necessarily losing out. Often, it's an opportunity to shine even brighter, away from where they started. Furthermore, Palmer's case puts Phil Parkinson's squad management into perspective. The decision to release players, such as Palmer, can be viewed in different ways. Some may question whether it was the right choice, while others recognize that changes are inevitable for a club looking to establish itself in the Championship. What is clear is that, for Palmer, this move was a chance to prove his worth and demonstrate that he still has a lot to offer in English football. Therefore, this story is not just about a goal or a victory. It is about transformation, adaptation, and how seemingly difficult decisions can produce positive results. Palmer is the perfect example of how new paths can open doors, and that a talented and motivated player can thrive even after leaving an environment that seemed secure but no longer provided the same opportunities for growth. And, of course, this builds anticipation for the upcoming matches, both for Palmer with Swindon and for Wrexham in the Championship. It will be fascinating to see how each side progresses, who continues to rise, and how the forthcoming results may change perceptions regarding these squad decisions. News 3. Wrexham alert for caution against Leicester. And here we arrive at the big news of the day, the one you saw in the thumbnail and title. Wrexham is preparing for one of the biggest challenges of the season. The team will face Leicester City at the King Power Stadium in a historic clash that hasn't taken place for 43 years. Leicester's manager, Martí Cifuentes, has already made it clear that he is watching a specific aspect of Wrexham's play. He does not tolerate diving, the infamous flops aimed at deceiving the referee. In the last match, 2 Leicester players received yellow cards for simulation, and Cifuentes warned that he wants this to stop immediately. With no VAR in the Championship, Wrexham will need to be extremely alert. A controversial decision by the referee could change the outcome of the game, so Phil Parkinson will have to prepare his team to play cleanly and ensure that any victory is earned on merit, rather than through tricks. The Red Dragons know that the task is tough. Leicester have recently been in the Premier League and have even won the title. Yet the expectation is high, and everyone wants to see Wrexham leave the King Power Stadium with their first Championship victory against the Foxes. So that's it, everyone. Today we've gone through 3 stories that affect Wrexham: Parkinson's decisions and squad changes, Ollie Palmer showing he is shining outside the club, and the intense preparation for the historic clash against Leicester City, where Wrexham must be mindful of every detail. If you want to keep up with everything happening with the Red Dragons, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Here, you'll stay up to date with news, analysis, and controversies, because with Wrexham, excitement and history are never in short supply.